Morning. All right, that didn't. All right. Good morning. Happy to be here. Today is, I think, July 18th, so we're here again for another press conference. Happy for you to be here, go over a couple things that happened last week, and talk about some new things that we've got going on this week. I think one of the last week, I certainly enjoyed having the opportunity to get out to District 1, have a town hall meeting with Councilwoman Breyer. I know that we're obviously looking at solutions for Langley, and we will work through those hopefully very soon. We should have the plan coming back to us. We've got a good group of people who are very active in figuring out all modes of transportation and figuring out what we can do for traffic safety on Langley and through all the other areas there in Scenic Heights. So I thought it was a good meeting. I was glad to have opportunity to be there. Bicentennial celebration closing was last night, and it was a nice event. There weren't as many people as there were for the year, but again, it was a very nice event. The reunion band was there, had a good time, and then they did a great documentary, and they're going to send it out, and it really was neat to see what happened. Some of the things that they planned, obviously, their plan was to start in 2020 and have events that celebrated on the 1-year anniversary. So because of COVID, we started things on 2021 and went the full year and had this celebration here on the closing of it. It was very well done, very nice to see people out enjoying it. Couldn't ask for a better night. As I jokingly say, that was Pensacola. We did the weather. We made it turn out just perfect. Where there was no rain, it was cool, nice little breeze. It was much cooler than a year ago when we did the original Bicentennial event. But like I said before, if you get a chance to see that, documentary, I think it says a lot about our community. It says a lot about why people want to be in Pensacola right now, because certainly it'll make you proud of the events that happened here in 1821, but I think more than anything else, it makes you proud of the way things are being done right now in 2021 and 2022. And I think it has a lot of the reasons when people ask, they say, what's going on? Why is Pensacola being successful? What's happening? I would say, look at that documentary and you'll see a collaborative effort across the entire city to get people to work together on a common goal, and I think that was what was done there and what we continue to do. Website redesign. City of Pensacola has launched upgrades to the city website, including navigational improvements and a light redesign. The website can be accessible at cityofpensacola.com. We hope you'll take a moment to check it out. I've gotten several good compliments from people talking about it and how it's much easier. So certainly to our PIO group there, thank you very much for the work y'all have been doing. IT as well. And it's not in here, but I did at least want to indicate last week was the last week we had with Trudy Nichols here, and Trudy has left to take a great opportunity, much better financially for her and a better responsibility. But I think it just goes to show what and the quality of the people we have here and the opportunities they get, and we have some great people here. We advanced Trudy, put her into that spot, really sort of unleashed IT, and they've done a great job. Bobby Eccles is going to be working right now in that spot as the interim as we look and try to find as we go forward. That search will probably continue into the next mayor and allow them some opportunity to see what they want to do with IT. But boy, the things we've done and the things we've gotten accomplished, we would not be able to do without Trudy. And she is sorely missed here, but we are incredibly happier for her because she has taken a great opportunity and she's going to do a great job, and she's going to show what the city of Pensacola and the people of Pensacola can do. So we're very excited about that for her. Bruce Beech groundbreaking is going to be next week on July 26th. The City of Pensacola invites the public to a groundbreaking event kicking off the Bruce Beech Revitalization Project, an exciting project supporting the city's goal of creating a more connected public waterfront. Groundbreaking will take place at 11 a.m. Tuesday, July 26th, Bruce Beech, located at 601 West Main. District 5 Town Hall will be August 3rd. Myself and Councilwoman Broughton will be hosting a town hall meeting on Wednesday, August 3rd, at the Chappie James Museum located at 1606 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive in Pensacola. The evening will kick off with open tours of the Chappie James Museum from 5 to 6, followed by a town hall meeting at 6 p.m. in the museum courtyard. The event is free and open to the public, and all members of the community are encouraged to come and provide their input and discuss their priorities and goals for the city of Pensacola. And I think Councilwoman Broughton plans to have a lot of different things going on there. If you've done stuff with her before, you know she plans very good for her events. She certainly was a part of the Bicentennial celebration, and I know she's working hard to make that a major event. So I hope you'll have a chance to come to the Chappie James Museum and see what's down there. City of Pensacola meetings this week. We have agenda review and CRA. Those will happen at 3:30 today here in Hagler Mason, and the agenda CRA will be immediately following the agenda review. City Council will also have a special meeting on Tuesday, July the 19th at 5 o'clock in Council's chambers. This is a continuation of the Charter Amendments meeting from July 11th. And then, of course, we'll have the regular meeting on Thursday, July 21st in Council chambers. Mayor's Neighborhood Cleanup is set for this Saturday. The area is in the Eastgate, Parker Circle, and Broadview Farms neighborhoods, including some portions of the surrounding neighborhoods. Please see the cleanup map for details to confirm whether you live in the cleanup area. This event allows the City of Pensacola sanitation customers in the cleanup area to leave eligible items at the curb, pick up for free of charge. To learn more, go to cityofpensacola.com.
That's July 30th.
Oh, that's a third?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday. Oh. I'm sorry. I think I said next Saturday. It's 2 Saturdays. I apologize. July 30th. That will be. So yes, that's definitely my problem. We did that once before the mailer, so I don't want to get any confusing. The Mayor's Neighborhood Cleanup will be. It will be on a Saturday, but it will be July 30th is when it is. So a week and a little bit, almost 2 weeks to that one. So, but if you're in Eastgate, Parker Circle, Broadview Farms, hopefully you'll be prepared, and that'll give you this next weekend to prepare so you can have everything ready to go on the 30th. That's it. Again, we don't have a number of press today, so Jeremy, you've got it all, so I'm happy to answer your questions.
I was hoping to get your thoughts on the portalette and the DIB Mike Kimball.
Well, one, the portalette itself is the stuff with the DIB in the downtown market. So we haven't been involved with that. The city did have a number of portable toilets that we had all through the city as we were dealing with COVID. As that has ended, we have pulled back and we no longer have those open. But the city, one of the things we've been doing, whether it's in the Palafox area or whether it is at Veterans Park, you've been here, Jeremy, we've been trying to position for more things. I really appreciate Councilman Jones putting forward money so that there can be permanent restrooms held in that area, but of course we don't have them at this particular time. Also trying to deal with permanent restrooms at Veterans Park, and we've been pushing for those. I think there are certainly some challenges. I think what I talked about earlier with the Centennial. If we put everyone together working for solutions and we work in collaboration, we have been much more successful in the community in finding those solutions. I've met twice with Michael Kimbrell as we've dealt with homeless, and he certainly has he has a passion for that, and I appreciate it, and he has an expertise in it, and I appreciate it. And there are many things that he has mentioned to me that we implemented into our thoughts as far as how we were going to deal with homelessness. My challenge with Mike is that Mike wants 100% of what he wants. I can get him about 75% of what he wants. But he's committed to go into conflict if we have to get the additional 25%. And conflict has not provided us anything that we want. I think one of the things we've seen with urban camping is it just creates a lot of conflict in that corridor of Palafox. We've had a patron at a restaurant stabbed. We've had a police cruiser set on fire. We've had a number of things, and we've had a real advocate and a super supporter in our community, unfortunately, arrested, all because of creating conflict. Twice I've met with Mike Kimbrell and asked him about moving to other locations. I think if you want to find ways in a great shaded area to be able to do your feeding mission, as well as your restrooms, I think Johnson Sunday Park is perhaps the best place in downtown Pensacola. Creates much less conflict with the other users who are using the space, and it's not in the middle of it's not in a median. It's in the middle of being done by traffic. I wish we would work toward collaboration. I think it could help solve a lot of the problems that have come out of the conflict. But I don't control all that. I control what we control, and you will always find us in the city of Pensacola here working for solutions that deal with collaboration. We will always be here trying to find collaborative solutions. Conflict just doesn't work. It doesn't create, it creates some great theater, and maybe it creates good press stories, but it doesn't create good government or good communities. Collaboration creates much better communities in what we're trying to work with. So you'll find us always committed to working with collaboration. Speaking on that end, just it wasn't in here, but a couple of things that have happened just recently. I think next week, I didn't see Lawrence here, but I think we'll be having the opening of the REAP. They just finished up their stuff and are getting forward with their CO with the respite house up there on Palafox. And we just finished, they had finished about the end of May, or the 1st of June, but unfortunately the box that was in Bright Bridges, it was a brand new, they bought it, they installed it, but it somehow it shorted the very first time they tried it, so it was a bad box. They had to get another box. Unfortunately, it took about that ended up putting about 2 months onto the project, but it just came in, they got it done, and they just got their CO. So Bright Bridges is opening up, the respite house will be opening up, and I think we're very much committed with the other things that we're working on to creating collaborative solutions as we move forward. I just think in a variety of ways, this urban camping is just not working for us in a variety of different ways. We have a lot of people, we have 55,000 residents, and our whole goal is to figure out how to create solutions that help all of them. And I'm not saying that everybody likes everything that we do. By no means do you have to do that. But overall, we've got to come up with solutions that really take into mind all 55,000 residents. It was interesting, the Coalition for Reducing Homelessness in Northwest Florida, and I'd love to get that group back together again and reevaluate sort of where we are, where we go next, what the next phase is. I have some thoughts. I've mentioned them from here, the dais. I mean, I think transitional housing is what we need, because we're gonna fill up those shelters really fast. If we don't have transitional housing, we won't be able to move people through a progress of housing to get to where they want to go. It's the same thing that Tallahassee's done. They had the shelter, but they also then had transitional housing, and I think we need some of that transitional housing. We've had private sector people come to us looking for a hotel, but many of those hotels have been located outside the city. So, I think that's the next phase of where we need to go. And we're certainly welcome to do that and happy to sit down with the county and look at what we can do going forward. But overall, I'd love them to get together and just see where do we go and what's happening with the next step. One of the most interesting things that they did probably back in, I think it was about March, maybe March, April, February, somewhere in that time frame, they had a gentleman come from St. Petersburg. And he is with St. Vincent de Paul in St. Petersburg and has really been a catalyst for their mission in serving homelessness in the Pinellas area. And the one thing he said is the camping does not work. He's like, urban camping doesn't work. He said, we were the first to figure that out in Pinellas. Everybody then went to Hillsborough. Tampa quickly figured it out. They all went to Pasco. Pasco's done that. They've moved on. He said, he said, you want to have services, you want to be doing all the things, you need to be engaged in doing that, but urban camping creates no solutions for you. And so that's not us doing that, that's the whole greater Tampa Bay area saying that. And I think in addition to that, our own experience has sort of told us what we need to be doing and working on. So, I hope from our standpoint we can continue to keep working forward with that. I hope we can sit down with the county very shortly. We're trying to do that. I know Commissioner Burgash has his idea for a big campsite out in Molino area. I'm not sure how that works. I think more than anything right now, what we need is transitional housing to move people. Once they get them in shelter, we start getting them pulled in a different direction, move them into transition, and then move them into housing, and probably rental housing, and hope that eventually they get to ownership housing and doing those kind of things. That would be very much following the Tallahassee-Leon model, which I was very impressed with when I toured back in December of 2020. So I think I was very impressed with what they had done in Tallahassee-Leon County, and I think it's something that can be replicated here when we look at it.
How do you secure transitional housing like rentals when housing's already so far as
Well, there have been a couple of hotel properties that were less than optimal, if not closed, in the 29 area before, and we had some people that came to us and wanted to take those and rehab those into it. That's exactly what Tallahassee did, Jeremy. They took an old hotel that basically gone through its useful life, but they were able to take it back, rehab it, bring it up to speed for what they could put generally 2 people living in a room, and that's what I saw when I went to Tallahassee. I think if we could do something like that, not only that, their transitional housing never went down during COVID, mainly because people were in individual rooms and they were able to make that work, as opposed to shelters, which all closed down during COVID because you didn't have that separate room. You weren't able to separate people from being in certain areas together. So there are many things that I saw in that transitional housing that they had done with hotels, and I know we've had the same opportunity here in Pensacola. I think that would be the way to go. And when I say Pensacola, I mean greater Pensacola. There are none really in the city of Pensacola, but we do have several in the county that are in the greater Pensacola area. That's exactly what Leon County did, and I think it could be very successful here, looking at it and seeing what we can do. And again, I don't think it's just us. I think you look at the same things happen in other places in Pinellas as well. I mean, that was one of the things the guy kept saying. He said, it's a housing problem. You got to focus on housing. You got to focus on how do you create and get control of housing so you can work with people and move them forward. I think that's probably our biggest challenge at this point that I see is we're going to be doing now well in sheltering. But if we don't have transitional housing, we're just going to end up warehousing people in shelters, which isn't what you want to do. I mean, you want to continue to have that progression, and I saw that in Tallahassee, Leon, and like I said, when the guy was here from St. Vincent de Paul from Pinellas County, he said the same thing.
Can you talk a little bit about? I know they're still discussing the charter, but about council seeing the rejection of your term limits of congestion, and also the whole conversation about department head appeals and department head not feeling like they can be forthcoming.
Well, I would say Sherry or Amy, or y'all want to come forward, David? I mean, y'all are welcome to answer the question. I mean, I think the question is there's a lot of talk, but has anyone actually asked the department heads? Jeremy, has anybody actually asked the department heads?
I have not. I don't know.
Okay, come on, y'all are here. Come on up. They want to know the question. They want to know. They want to know. Well, you and David have talked about it before, but I'm happy to get Sherry's position and Amy's position. They're curious and they want to know what it is. On that point.
Hi, Jeremy. Amy Miller, current Deputy City Administrator for Administration Enterprises, previously Port Director. This is my second strong mayor. I've never felt like I couldn't have an honest conversation with my mayor, right? And that's the key. At the end of the day, the mayor is the boss. So I've never felt that I couldn't have honest conversations with the mayor. But once the mayor makes the decision, it's the department director's responsibility to support the mayor's decision. Personally, if I were terminated, even if there were an appeals process, what department director is going to want to be terminated, go through an appeal, get upheld, and then come back to work for the person that fired him? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me that process would work in any way, or that it's necessary. It's just my 2 cents. They're welcome to give you other opinions if they have other opinions.
I understand, like, on the ground, it would be an awkward situation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think academically, though, or theoretically, like, department heads need that appeal process?
I never have. I think once you get to this level, whether it's in government or the private sector, you're an at-will employee. That's just the way it is when you get to a certain level, and you have to be willing to accept that to achieve that level if that's where you want to go in your career.
Amy, I think one thing that is important is prior to my administration being here, there was no real, employee manual that had what could be done for appeal processes otherwise, and that has been instituted. That has been put in there, and we put that in place. It's one of the things I'm most proud of that we were able to do. The other thing that I'm most proud of is the team that we put together. I think it's a great team, and I think it's a lot easier from their perspective to work for one person than it is to work for 7 people who give you different direction. I think the strong mayor system will give the city of Pensacola the best shot to have the best employees in the community. There was no doubt, 80s, 90s, into the early 2000s, this was the place to work. I mean, if you were going to be in public sector government, the city of Pensacola was the place where people worked. I think some of that changed, and I think some things happened under the prior administration, going through a lot of different things that weren't up there. There was no employee manual. There was no variety of other things for employees, and we were successful at the county in getting some of those people, and we were successful at, I think, building a better system at the county. Obviously, things changed dramatically, although I think Wes has done a good job of putting the county back in a good position to be in, and I think it's working over there for them, and I'm happy for them. I want the Escambia County to be as successful as anything else, but I'm all about the city of Pensacola and what we can do, and I think they've got good people, Escambia County, but I think we've got the best people are here, and I think the talent will continue to attract here in this way, because you don't have to guess. You don't have a bunch of different equal people telling you a bunch of different things, and whether it's this council, whether it was the council 2 years ago, whether it was councils in the past, whether it will be the council that will be elected at this point, they're not all going to agree. They shouldn't agree. That's good. That's good government. They don't need to be giving their individual instructions to staff. I think we're in so much of a better place. As far as the other part, Jeremy, if people decide they don't like it, if the decision had gone to a vote and the people had decided they didn't like it, I could live with that. But my point is if you're going to complain, I've said it multiple times here, if you're going to complain that your fear is all this power is vested in one person, then the best way to do it is to limit that person's ability to sit in that seat. Listen, I've told you, I really think after having done it, 4 years is probably, you could limit somebody to 4 years. If the people don't want to do that, that's okay. I'm just simply saying, I think if you have real fears and you want to mitigate that fear, then limit the amount of time. And I think 4 years, as I've told you before, I think it's twice as much as the average county administrator. I think 4 years is enough time for someone to be here. Is it 8? Is it 12? it's whatever the people want to decide in their charter. But I'm just saying, if your whole issue is I'm concerned about this and I'm concerned what this does, then give that individual who sits there less of a tenure, and then that will change. That should mitigate your fear. But if they're in there, allow them to be the one that does it. And whether it's me or the next mayor that's elected or the next mayor after that, I think they'll be able to build good teams if they focus on the things that they're doing and getting good people. We're successful because we let our people go do what they need to do to make it available. And I mean, if you look out here, I've got 3 people who, out of 6 people that are sitting here, actually I got 7, 8. I got 3 people who are here, who've been part of the city, who've kind of grown up in the city. They're able to be here, and they've been able to make it to the level they're at. I got 2 people who came from totally outside the community and the area. They came outside the area because they believed in what we were doing and were willing to come here and put their name on it and bring great ideas from outside the area and come here. And I've got 3 people who are at other institutions in the area, local government area, succeeded very well, but found that for a variety of reasons, those other places where you have a lot of bosses aren't as good as being one that you have one boss that you can communicate with. So I would say I'm incredibly happy with the 8 people that are here. I think they're the top of what they do. And they're very successful at what they do, and they make us very successful. All right, well, thank you very much.